Hi everyone, Jen here from Memory Keeping with Jen. I hope you're doing well. I'm coming to you today with the next episode of my School Day Sunday series. I'm going to apologize right up front. I have a cold, but that's not stopping me from scrapbooking. I might just have to do a little bit more editing in the video. There might be some more spots where there's no sound or other kinds of sounds. So I will try not to have a coughing fit while I'm recording today, but I think it should be a fairly quick one. I've been thinking about this layout for a few days. I have 3 photos of my son reading. It was at the end of his school year. And I made a title, actually, beginning of the week, the Storytime. So my layout is going to revolve around the title and how I want the title. So I want the title to go on the page like this. And I'm going to put the photos around it. When I found this title with the little stars, I thought, how can I incorporate my star custom cutting system in here? That would be cool. And then I realized I have the Celestial Delights paper pack. So that's where this blue came from with the stars. And then I have a piece of copper shimmer and I have a piece of Mars shimmer. So it all kind of fits together, right? Like with the outer space theme. Even though his story time has nothing to do with outer space, it's all about the stars in the title that I wanted to use. So as I was thinking about this design, my original intent was to use the stars and cut out the photos and shape of the stars, and then have like a background behind it. So unfortunately, when I used my template to see which cutter I was going to need, which blade I was going to need, I found that my photos don't really fit well to be cut in the star shape. It's going to cut off a lot of my son. This is probably the only photo that maybe I could use. It's going to cut off his hands. Same thing with this one. Like, it's going to cut off his eye. So I'm a little bit struggling with that because it kind of throws off my idea just a little bit. But that's okay. I'm still going to move forward and do something else. I'm still going to use the stars, but I'm just going to do a little bit different of a background now. And see what happens. So I'm going to cut 3 stars out of the Mars shimmer paper, and I want them to be the bigger ones on the inside, so I'm going to use the red blade on the inside. And I'm going all the way to the edge of my paper because I try not to waste, especially with the shimmer paper. I don't have that much of it, and I think Mars is the discontinued one. I think they still have Firecracker, which is similar, but Firecracker is a little bit more red. I'll say this is kind of maroon. And because of all the angles, it is a little bit harder to cut the circle out, the star out, I mean. But you always want to make sure that you have your feet in the grooves because that's going to make it the easiest. But as you go around these corners, it's kind of hard to make sure the feet stay in the grooves. There we go. So I'm going to start with 3 of these. I might need 4. Surprisingly, these don't have the measurements on here to know how big they are. I think it's about 3 inches. I think the inside star is 3 inches. So I may end up needing 4 of these. And I'm going to leave this part uncut because I could use this as a border. I'm going to just go back to the top. So this is a 1-page layout that I'm doing. The second page that's going to go with the layout is the actual story that my son is reading in the photos. I do have it. It has a big binding on it, like a, the kids use like a GBC binding on it. So I'm going to cut that off. And I have a thought of how I'm going to adhere it into the album because it is multiple pages. I have used just regular 8.5 by 11 page protectors, like 3-ring page protectors before. I'm not going to use that this time, but I will show you what I think I'm going to do after. He actually read 2 stories that day, but one of them has a lot more. Whoops, I just totally moved my thing. I don't know if it's going to come up. One of them has a lot more drawing and coloring. It's a little bit more, I'll say, original than the other. Okay. And I do have the octagon as well. I thought about using the octagon, but that one I was going to cut out. It's just the photos. I took pretty poor photos that day. I think I'm going to go like this. Okay, so see, yeah, I really only kind of need 3. I do feel like I need something underneath here, and that's maybe where this might come in. I was going to use this as background for the photos, but... And I have more of this. I'm just going to kind of lay it out right now. And if I need a clean sheet, I'll go get a better one. I'll go get one that's not already all cut up. Because I think I'm going to like it like this instead. I almost feel like maybe I'll cut a sheet with my decorative trimmer. I think I'll do that. Not this one. Use a new one. I want to make sure I cut enough so that my stars fit. See, I have a lot of little wispy pieces. I'm going to go right there. It's a little bit too big. I think I could take off. I would say 1/2 inch. I'm going to save this. I could use it for something else. And actually, maybe I'll put it on this side. That's going to go there. That's going to go there. I want my story time down here. And now I have to figure out my photos. I was going to mount them. Maybe I will mount them on blue. I have blue shimmer paper as well, but let me go ahead and trim them first. I think I'm going to trim them to be, this one's kind of big, but I think I'm going to just trim them to be 4x4. Okay, let me get my navy blue shimmer. And maybe I'll even do smaller stars in here. See, it's all kind of coming to me as I'm thinking about this. I think I have a smaller sheet. Okay, so my photos are 4x4, so I need my background to be 4.5 by 4.5. So I have these smaller sheets that I think were, I gotta try not to waste the shimmer paper, so. 4.5 might be too big, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna go 4.25. One more. What size is this? Okay. I'm gonna put my photos down. I could even, for this edge here, I could have used the Celestial Border Maker cartridge. But I really wanted to do something with these stars. That's been on my brain, so that's what it's going to be. It's going to go like that. I think I'm going to see what it looks like if I do smaller stars on top and layer the stars. But I'm going to let me at least adhere this stuff down. It doesn't go anywhere. Ooh, I put that down crooked, holy cow. There we go. So this is second grade. After these photos, this is the end of second grade, so I will be moving on to third grade. I actually already have, during COVID, I actually kind of stayed on top of my school scrapbooking. And anytime they would have something, actually it was it during COVID, right after COVID? It was before COVID, because my son was in 6th grade. For whatever reason, I guess I just had a good setup or timing just worked out that I was able to scrapbook. So as he came home with certificates or something, I literally scrapbooked them like right away within the week. So I have most of his 6th grade photos are already done. So when I get to 6th grade, I have very, very little to do. And I wish I had done that with other years, but obviously not. All right, so this is just a little bit, doesn't quite fit on the paper, but depending what blade I use. blade will be just fine. Actually, the green and the red would be fine. Any of the blades would be fine. I'm gonna do the green blade. Just make sure it's on the paper, and it is. Yep, that works. I will say it's a little bit awkward to get the cutter on here so that, because it's so close to the edge. See, that's what happens when your feet are not in the grooves. It just got a jagged edge, but it's okay. I'll flip it over and use the other side, and I'll put it on the top where I'm going to put a photo over the star. So it's not completely wasted. I'm just holding everything down because it's moving like crazy. It has the rubber on the bottom, but it's just moving around. Okay. I don't plan on doing any other stickers or embellishments on here. I think this is going to be enough. I don't want it to be too busy either. I'm going to do it just like that. I mean, maybe. See, I already am like, I think I like it better up there. Yep. I think I like it like this better. Going up just enough to try to cover this little spot, but I'm going to see if I can turn it. I did not grab my multi-purpose tool this morning. I forgot. There we go. Perfect. I I do think it would have been better if I could have cut the photos into the star shapes, but it's fine. Make do with what I have. All right, there it is. That's my Storytime layout. I feel like I wish I could have moved this photo over just a little bit. But I don't really think I can. I have to move everything. I just feel like there's a lot of blue, so I feel like I wish I could just move it over just a little bit. There we go. A little bit more like that. Right in the middle is fine. Okay. There's my layout. I used the stars. I used Celestial Delights. I had this title that I really wanted to use. I still have room if I wanted to put a little journaling box here. I don't know that I will. So on the second side of the page, I'm going to put in this story that he's reading. So I'm going to pause and I'm going to go get the materials for that, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I have this story I'm going to use. See, it's got one of these big GBC bindings on it. So I don't have a binding machine to take it off. I'm just going to cut it off. I'm going to use my scissors, and then I'll trim it with my paper cutter. I probably could just pull it. It's just kind of a pain. Okay, that wasn't so bad after all. I do want to trim these edges off. I don't want to have that on here. And I'm going right to, I'm just doing a 1/4 inch off of here. And it's literally right taking off up to the edge of the holes. I probably could leave this back page off, but I'm going to include it. It's a little bit thick, kind of thicker than I would prefer, but let me just make sure all the pages are in order and I didn't mix them up. See, there's a lot of drawing in here. So I do want to keep with the theme of the page on the left, the one that I just did with the stars. So I am still using blue. I'm using just a navy sheet of cardstock. And then I am going to use this gold, the copper still. And I want it to be... let's see. I'm going to say 2 inches. So I just need to mark where I want to cut. 1, 2. then I still debated using some of this red. I think I'm gonna do like a thin strip of the red to pull the red into it as well. Since I have a little bit here. This one I'll do about 1.5 inches. 1.25 inches maybe. Okay. All right, now, which color do I want where? I feel like I want the red to go like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm stapling the book. I'm gonna use my fascinator, and hopefully the staples are thick enough. Not sure if they're gonna be because this book is pretty thick. And I'm gonna fascinate them to here, and I'm gonna do it to the red. And then I will adhere the red to the cardstock. I think I'm going to, it is very thick, and I don't think the fascinator is going to do well with that. So I'm going to take off this. I could actually use this for something else. I'm going to take off 2 of the pages. The back cover and then the page that he dedicated to his teacher. Okay. So I'm going to first put down the copper. So I know where that's going. Okay, and then I'm gonna mark very lightly where I want to try to line up the staples. And I don't know if this is gonna work like this to line them up, but this is so old. I actually used it not that long ago. I don't remember if I used this one or if I used the smaller one. I have a handheld one too. I used to use this quite often. I don't have stars, but I have diamonds, so I'm going to use the diamonds. And it works just like a stapler. Put it in. And then there's a feet guide here, so you can line up your paper with how far in you want the staple to go. And it does not want to move. I know I don't need it to be in that far, so. There we go. I only need it to be, okay. So I think I'm going to do it this way. Okay, no, I need it to, I need my guides in a little bit more. I'm gonna go right here and see if this works. Okay, there's one. And I'm trying to kind of line them somewhat center. But, all right, let's see. I'm marking on here just very slightly because I'm using paper that's wavy. It's not going to get lined up all the way to the thing. So I need to know where I want to line up my staple. There. Oh, that one's a little bit crooked. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put this down, and I'm going to use a lot of adhesive, and I'm actually going to put adhesive on the back page as well. But because it's thick, it's kind of heavy, I want to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And I will not put a page protector on this one, obviously. I'm going to go right here with it. Because as my son's looking through it, I want him to be able to flip the pages and see what he wrote. And he will be able to do that now. Just like that. But see, it's already kind of coming up over here. So I'm gonna have to get my super duper glue. When I say super duper glue, I mean my Barely Art glue. Because this stuff is amazing. I know part of the reason why it's coming up is the paper, because the paper is shiny and shimmery, so it doesn't stick as well as regular cardstock. I have found anyway. I mean, maybe other people have better luck. And once it's closed in the album, this will adhere very well. But for now, I'm actually going to go put it underneath something. I'll put a book or something on top of it to make sure that it sticks. So there it goes. I will take a picture and at the end, and I'm going to put them side by side so you can see the 2-page layout. But this is how I adhere a book or multiple pages. One way I've adhered a book or multiple pages to a layout so that we can flip through it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this gives you some inspiration or ideas on how to do your own layouts. And if you've made it this far, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. If you hit that like button, it really helps me out. It makes me know if I'm on the right track or not. And happy scrapbooking. Take care.